So, my name is Thomas Gray. Many people call me Tom or Gray. And I, over the last 2 years, have now built up a modest following on Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah.
Telling stories about history, cars, motorsport, and also dabbling in sort of trying to help people with their mental health struggles.
Right, that means
Are we live?
away we go.
Oh, crumbs, here we go. How intimate, darling.
This is lovely. I like recording in cars. The only trouble with recording in cars is it gets quite toasty.
It does, yes, and for such a small little box of a car as well.
We are in a very confined space in your Z4.
Yes, we might almost end up touching hands at some point.
Well, I'm already sweat patchy. If you want to see on that, we're trying to get a video of this as well. So the sweat patches are already here, and I think that's from my drive down. You're wearing a jumper and a shirt.
I was wearing a gilet earlier as well.
So you could be in real trouble at this point.
Possibly, but I'm also one of those weird freaks that never seems to ever overheat.
So I was going to ask you about this.
Right.
Before we get into this question,
Yeah.
we'll do the formalities.
Of course.
I have one question for you.
Yes.
Who are you and what do you do?
So, my name is Thomas Gray. Many people call me Tom or Gray. And I, over the last 2 years, have now built up a modest following on Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah.
Telling stories about history, cars, motorsport, and also dabbling in sort of trying to help people with their mental health struggles.
Which makes you a perfect guest for this podcast.
It's
That's quite a
feels
common
like it.
theme. Yeah.
Yes, no, exactly.
I'm not going to lie, I'm very jealous because you have exploded. Your
thank
following has really just. I think I found you off the back of someone tagging you in a video I shared on TikTok. I think you were at 20,000 followers at that time.
Right, okay.
And now you're at, I think it was 265 last I checked.
Yeah, 265 on Insta
Insta.
and about 410 on TikTok.
Which is insane. That's over 500,000 people follow you in one way or another.
Yeah, it's mad.
Like, ridiculous. Which, we'll get into this, will be wild. Like, going anywhere. So, friends of mine are YouTube people.
Yeah.
Luke, who was the most recent guest before yourself, he's a YouTube car guy. He's got, I think, like 18,000 subscribers on YouTube and
pretty good
30,000 on Instagram. He's doing all right.
Yeah.
Wherever we go, if there's cars about, he gets stopped.
Okay.
Mate, I watch your YouTube. Mate, I watch this. I'm a big fan, big fan. Well, that's 10% of your audience size.
Yes.
Essentially.
Essentially, yes.
Do you get the same thing?
Yes. And I, without sounding vague or vulgar, I absolutely adore it.
Oh my God!
Yo!
I cannot get a video of it, but I can take a photo and add it into the video. That is amazing.
That's brilliant.
It's a Fiat Multipla with a spoiler.
Oh, it's a wang.
And
it's the
flames on the side.
And the wang looks like it's on the wrong way round.
And it's on the roof. Like halfway down the roof.
And it's got LKQ stickers and everything on the side.
I suspect it's one of those like Rust to Rome rally kind of cars.
Oh, this has immediately turned into the Waymo podcast.
Charlie's going to be so annoyed that we've Waymo'd him. I've taken a photo. If I can take another photo, I will. That will be in the accoutrement on the podcast.
Good word.
I like a good bit of wordage.
All right, a bit of wordage. Let's try and be a thesaurus first, then, shall we?
The trouble is, by doing that, you can come across a bit pretentious, and there's a fine line between finding words fun and being a bit like, no, I know big words.
Yes.
And people go, yeah, all right, pal.
Yeah.
There's an easier way to say it. Calm down.
Quite, and especially when you've got my accent.
Yeah.
It really does start to hammer at home, and you're like, oh God, I'm now just sounding like a patronising arse. But
I think being that self-aware helps, though.
Very much so. Very much so. And I think that comes from the fact that when I was younger, I was never considered a cool person.
Same. Yeah.
Right. I was never somebody that people wanted to hang out with. I was always a case of like, hey guys, do you want to do something?
Yeah.
And like tried to like tag on to other things. So I was always very aware that I was not somebody that people wanted to hang out with until I was probably about 17, 18, and I started hanging out with a different crowd.
Yeah.
It kind of changed.
You find your tribe kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And kind of almost backwardly, it was with the quote unquote popular kids at school. You know,
Right.
the first people to go out drinking, the first people to have sex, all that lot.
Yeah.
And a couple of the guys within that group kind of like put me under their wing, and then I was kind of going out with them to all of these cooler parties and like going out doing different things. I was like, this is kind of
I'm not
cool.
used to this,
I quite like this.
Yeah.
And you know, it's something that I always laugh and joke about with people when they're like, "Oh, you're an influencer." To anybody watching, I hate that phrase because, like, let's be honest, what influence do I actually have?
Yeah. I get what you mean.
But
You just sit there and go, I'm just the guy who tells stories.
exactly that, right? And I've said to anybody, if you ever catch me calling myself an influencer, you have the outright ability to just smack me in the testicles as hard as you want.
So if you're ever watching the touring cars, and obviously you do a lot of the presenting for
Yes,
QuickFit,
sir.
and all of a sudden you just drop, it's because one of your mates has heard you say something just straight in the
Oh,
balls.
100%, and I won't miss a beat, and I'll go. It's like that Jack Sparrow. It's just like one of these. You get slapped. I don't think I deserved that. Get hit in the testicles. Ugh,
Yeah, I deserve that
I
one.
definitely deserve that one. My God.
So we have immediately gone off on a tangent because of said Fiat Multipla.
Yes.
When you're out and about and you're trying to get used to, because obviously 2023 is only 2 years ago.
Yes.
So you've gone from kind of obscurity to quite well known in a very short space of time.
Yeah.
How have you found getting used to that? Like when we were at the touring cars the other week, like every other person, oh dude, I watch your videos. Oh dude, I watch your videos.
Yeah.
I had Grant Williams, who's a friend of mine. Thanks to doing the podcast, we've now become really good mates. I was literally just in Spa with him over the weekend.
Oh, amazing.
He was like, oh, he jumped in the car. I was like, Grant, you were as excited to have him in the car as he was to be in the car.
Oh my God,
I love
Jess.
his videos. He's always telling it how it is and this, that, and the other. I was like, that's a very dangerous phrase to say there, mate.
Yeah, it's like that phrase. I get told that a lot, and it's from like loads of different backgrounds of people. I guess it's it's because I'm talking about history or my opinions on educating Americans or whatever it used to be. But yeah, when Grant came up to me in the pits at the revival, it was a very interesting experience for me because, like yourself and many others that have watched classic motorsport and have been to the revival, of Goodwood as a mecca for years, Grant Williams is like up in the royalty box, right? Like with Dougie Lampkin and, Mad Mike Woodette, and all of that lot. Like they are the proper showmen.
Well, they're there for the real spirit of it all.
Yes.
Like, you get kind of the guest drivers. A lot of them are like Formula One drivers.
Yeah.
So they're drivers. But there's a lot of it where it's like it's a guest driver because they're someone famous, but it's not necessarily a true driver.
Yeah, like what's his Mr. Dempsey, Patrick Dempsey. Yeah,
He's a
beautiful
proper racing
human
driver. Does Le Mans, does all of that. He's not a Goodwood driver. He's an LMP driver. And it's like Grant is a Goodwood driver.
Yes.
That man lives and breathes driving old Jaguars at full chat.
Exactly.
Which is why I was at Spa. He's in an E-Type doing the 6-hour classic.
Oh, I saw the pictures. It looked amazing.
And they were like, we'll chuck Grant in last through the night because he's the most well equipped for it.
Yeah.
And after the race, he pulls in. He goes, the brakes are shot. I couldn't see anything. It's starting to get wet. Tyres are now smooth. Where's my RV? I'm going home. And we literally came first in class, got his trophy, got his bottle of champagne, jumped in the RV and drove to France. And I was like, Grant, I'm in the RV with you, and we've been up since 7 a.m. And I don't think I got any proper sleep until 2 o'clock the next day.
Oh,
and he was just like, yeah, I've done my job. Another day in the office, off we go. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Legend. But and that was the thing, right? Like I was at the revival, I was with my girlfriend, and she doesn't know that much about cars, but she's really enthusiastic about learning. Yeah. Which to me is like possibly the most attractive trait.
My other half is the same.
Yeah, right. And it's not necessarily just about cars, but it's about anything of just I want to learn.
Yeah.
And it just so happens to be about a topic that I am besotted with.
Yeah.
So we're in the revival paddock, and we're going through, and I'm explaining why the Jaguar XK engine is arguably one of the greatest engines ever built. Yeah. And I'm just like, for a start, look at it. I mean, it's just orgasmic to look at. Yeah. And then I start explaining what all of the bits do. And I was looking at the Mark 1 that I believe it was actually James Dorlan that was piloting, the white one with the red grille. Yeah. And then out of nowhere, and I was even saying, oh, by the way, this is by one. This is the most famous. Yeah. It is
There's a Hot Wheels, there's a Skelet.
Yeah.
There's this.
Everything. And like my brother has been grabbing his Todger with excitement anytime he's been stood next to this car for like the last 15 years. And then suddenly Grant just comes out with the barrel
Cowboy
of
hat
energy,
on.
cowboy
Yeah.
hat on, typical Grant. And it was just like, excuse me, fella, can I shake your hand? And I was like, what? He was just like, I bloody love all of your videos. Now, I know he's not that Welsh, but
That is a good Welsh
that's
accent.
the only Welsh accent I can do. And I was just there, like, kind of starstruck. I was like, you know my name?
Yeah.
Excuse me? And he was just like, oh, I'd love for you to come and do some content. Like, come down to Wales, it'd be great. And I was like,
I'm there.
yes. And I was like, well, why don't we do some content today? I was like, yeah, sure. Like, well, what would you like to do? And I was like, well, why don't we just do an interview? And I can sit in your car, we'll go to the assembly area. I was like, mate, that sounds great.
Yeah.
And I was trying to play it cool as best I could. And I can remember, I was like, amazing, right, I'll see you later, enjoy your day. And we then walked to the Spitfire exhibition, which was literally next door. And I get to within eyesight of the Spitfire, out of eyesight of Grant, and I'd like start minorly hyperventilating. I was like, I need you, and just like completely losing my biscuit. And my girlfriend's just there, like, are you okay? And I was just like,
It's a hero moment.
I've literally just met one of my heroes, and he was excited to meet me.
Yeah.
On like what felt like almost a parody. And I was like, well, I couldn't, and even still I can't really get my head around it. And I mean, don't get me wrong, when regular ordinary folk come up and they say, I love your videos, it's amazing, especially if they come up and say, hi Tom.
Yeah.
Like, if people know my first name, that means that they definitely watch my stuff.
They pay attention.
Yeah, if people come up and they say, hey Guy, or hey Gray, I'm like, okay, that's cool, that's fine. Like, you still made the effort to come up and say hello.
Yeah.
But if somebody comes up and says, hi Tom, I love your content, and then the next one is if they bring up a specific video or a specific type.
Yeah.
I'm like, that means the world to me.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
I will give anybody as much time as I physically can. Touring cars is difficult because obviously I'm there to do a job and I've got to run around. But when I was working in London, I did a lot of my filming in the Mini still. A lot of people immediately recognised me when I was sat on the bonnet of a Mini.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, that's
the
him.
guy.
Yeah. So they come up and they say hello, and it got to the point where it was literally every day, just in the street, and I can walk around, and it's gotten to the point where if I go out to a place that is of some relevance to what I talk about, be that cafe in a machine, or I go to a car event or anything like that, at least one person will spot me and say hello. Yeah. And I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. I mean, I absolutely adore it, and it makes my day every single time. And I want to make sure.
It's such a new feeling to get.
Yeah. It's weird because going back to the sort of the earlier point of I was never somebody that people wanted to hang out with. I was never somebody that people wanted to hang out with, but now I'm the person that people want to come up to and say hello to.
Yeah.
As a stranger on the internet, and the hardest thing for me is when people come up to me and they say, thank you so much for your mental health content, because it's helped me out with this, with that, and all the things that I'm going through. And a couple of times I've gone, cheers, thanks. Gotten into my car and I've literally put my hat over my face, and I've just kind of sat there and gone, I need a minute. That was a lot. I've just learned a lot about that person, and apparently I've helped.
Yeah. It's it's not a burden, it's a weight almost, where you go, oh, I've helped take that weight off of someone.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of it that you have to then carry for a minute.
Yeah.
To go, oh, I've taken it off them, I need to put this somewhere.
Yeah.
And it takes that time to process the impact that you've had on another human being's life.
Yes.
And it's like, well, I've been in some really rough and horrible places, and to know that there are people that have been through similar and then found either something that I've done or something that you've done has helped that. You go, oh, I've managed to do the thing that I needed in that moment.
Exactly.
For someone else. Like I had a guy message me the other day saying, dude, I just listened to the podcast with Luke, absolutely loved it. Not going to lie, listening to that podcast has made me open up about my mental health way more. I was like, that's a lot of weight now. I've got to do more of them.
Yeah.
So you've got something to listen to.
Exactly.
And it's so rewarding. Obviously, I kind of set out to do this in a let's try and make a difference in mental health. And on the days where I'm sat in my office on my own, just going, what the hell am I doing? I'm drawing a t-shirt, it's got words like blah, blah, blah. To get a message like that, you go, oh, that's why it's important to
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's a really rewarding, but also like really emotionally quite heavy thing to go through.
Because the other thing is, if you to I believe make genuine content around mental health, you have to show your own vulnerability quite a lot. And being vulnerable on camera is, even still now, for somebody that's done quite a lot of it, still quite daunting.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's, you know, it's really revealing, and obviously I don't want to reveal everything about myself because that feels almost slightly wrong. And
so I've had this conversation recently with a couple of people, because I was at an event and a guy came up and he went, oh, there's someone that is always wearing your stuff or talking about what you do, but they're always like just sharing everything that's ever gone on in their life, and I find it really hard to engage with because it's like this like little pity party that they're asking for.
Yes.
I was like, I get it, and there's a real fine line between being accessible and almost coming across like you're just crying on camera for the engagement.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I've been really conscious about is I'm trying to promote that mental health is a topic we should engage with. It's a very personal journey, and we should be able to find solace with those around us to deal with it. That doesn't mean that I need to tell you everything that's gone on in my life for you to have that like it's more about, right, you should talk about your mental health, you should engage with this topic, you should find the people that you feel safe to talk about it with, and build this kind of, did you know car friends can be real friends?
Yes.
Did you know you can start a conversation with cars and it can turn into mental health?
Yeah.
Did you know that the people that spend the time around you actually care about how you're doing, and you
Yes.
can talk to them about that? Now I can promote all that without going, oh, this really horrible thing just happened to me. I need to tell everybody on the internet what's happening. Like, there's a real fine line between my own personal situation and just talking about myself, and encouraging people to have these thoughts about mental health and engage with mental health and discuss mental health. Like, there's a certain amount of, I need you to know that it's okay to talk about these things, and we can have conversations around these really difficult topics. And also, I'm not doing this for my own personal gratification. It's to try and encourage other people to engage with it. And some of it is leading by example, and some of it is pushing people into the right direction.
Yes.
And that's a really difficult line to draw, because you can find yourself just almost being labelled like a crybaby on the internet for the sake of likes, and it's like, no, I was just trying to share a human moment with you.
Exactly. And it's and that's the thing. Like, you know, I was pretty vocal about, you know, the breakup that I went through, you know, 8 months or so ago, right at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And I was very, very careful about how I went about it, because yes, she left.
Yeah.
But I did not want to be like, she's left me, oh boo-hoo.
Yeah, yeah.
It was, she's left me, this sucks. However, this is what I'm doing to make my life easier. Rather than talking about
how I'm managing these emotions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Rather than just like, this is what's happened. It's a case of, okay.
Isn't she awful? Or
And oh my
that,
goodness, that's the other thing that really winds me up, right? Whenever something bad happens to somebody, people always assume that whomever made that person feel bad is to blame.
Yeah.
Right? And it's, I still to this day have never badmouthed my ex.
Yeah.
Not publicly, I may have to my mother or my sister, but that's fine. That's a personal conversation, right? But I will never badmouth her. It took me a long time to accept why she left. But as soon as I kind of came to that decision, I was like, oh, okay, you know, that makes so much sense.
I can understand the rationale.
Yeah, and I'm so happy that she did, because it means that she's happy, and I forever want her to be happy.
Yeah.
And I'm now in a pretty solid place, and you know, I've somehow managed to find another woman, and she's fucking incredible. It's weird how the world works. All you need is a bit of time, turns out, most of the time.
Yeah.
But you know, it's this whole, the other thing that I really don't like around men's mental health is there are so many quote unquote grifters.
Yeah.
Right? And they want to tell you that women are to blame for men's mental health issues. And it's like, no, not at all. If somebody is suffering, they are suffering because of a reason, not because of a specific person. A specific person might be causing them pain, but that doesn't mean that suddenly now that entire gender of people is now to blame for a given issue, right? Like,
But if you buy my book, I'll tell you how to
Yes, exactly. Buy my course, 12-step program.
You need to be an alpha male.
Yeah, oh my God. The least alpha male thing to say is, I am an alpha male.
Yeah, if you have to say it, it's not true.
Exactly. It's just like, what was it? It's that line from Game of Thrones. A king that has to remind people he is the king is no king at all.
Yeah.
And Joffrey goes, but I am the king. It's like, you're not.
Yeah.
You're really not. And I think, you know, that a large portion of the blame for surrounding men's mental health is men themselves.
Yeah, we're terrible to ourselves.
Yeah.
This toxic masculinity culture is really quite a problem.
Yes.
And it does my head in. So the thing that I struggle the most with is talking about my emotions or understanding how I'm feeling.
That's it for me.
That's the hardest challenge, right? The most manly thing I can do is figure out how to do that shit.
Yes.
Because I've done the fighting,
Yeah.
I've done the extreme sports, I do motor racing, I do all the manly stuff.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
You just have to go and do it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a bit high up here when I'm rock climbing. Oh, I'm going a bit quick. Oh, I'm still turning the wheel.
Yeah.
All the manly stuff's easy. Go to the gym for an hour every day. The most difficult part about that is going every day.
Oh, yeah.
It's the discipline to just turn up.
Yeah.
The actual tough stuff is when you're vulnerable and weak in how you feel, because that takes so much more strength to go through. Because you go, I don't want to cry because I'm told that is weakness.
Yes.
But it's just an actual emotion that you're expressing. Like a year ago, I had a really horrible thing happening, and the hardest part of it, other than the thing that was happening, was being able to let my guard down enough to just weep and just fall apart in front of my other half.
Yeah.
And it's like, she's a psychologist, and I'm the bloke that talks about mental health all the time,
Yeah.
and I still struggle.
Yeah.
Let alone people that are in this toxic masculinity culture of, oh, men don't cry.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, men don't cry, and then they just take their own lives because they can't deal with it anymore. And it's easy. It feels like the easy way out because you go, well, I don't have to deal with this shit anymore.
Yeah.
I just stop everything.
Yeah,
Job done.
Exactly. And it's the line that my mum always says, is it is a permanent solution to a temporary problem.
Yeah.
And it's the fact that, you know, so many men are killing themselves is atrocious. But one thing that I think a lot of people are unaware of, more women attempt it.
Oh, yeah.
Far more women attempt it.
Yeah.
The problem is that men are
better at it than women.
yeah, we're better at women than another thing. It's more of a case of the fact that men are more prone to extreme acts of violence.
Yeah.
And when it comes to doing it against themselves, they're really good at it.
Yeah.
Really good at it. So, like, for example, I think that the main way that women attempt to end it is via medication.
Yeah.
Whereas the main way that men do it is with blunt trauma.
Yeah, like jumping in front of a train or something.
Yeah, exactly, or bite a bullet or something like that.
It's
something
normally
that you
something
can't
that
walk away from.
There's no chance of anything else happening.
No.
It's normally this is a very final thing.
Yeah.
Like, if someone walks in, it doesn't matter. You've already gone.
Yeah, it is curtains at that point, and it's the problem with mental health. I think is that it's great that there is a massive push with men's mental health. It doesn't mean that women's mental health has been solved. If anything, I think they're kind of on a parity of just how shit it is for everybody.
Yeah.
And it as much as there is progress being made, I would argue that we're actually getting worse mental health wise
As a society.
as a society, mainly just because of the world that we live in at the moment.
Yeah.
Like, this is the greatest time ever, objectively, to live.
Yeah.
Subjectively, it's arguably one of the worst, and that's not my quote. That's a Jimmy Carr quote. I'm not gonna steal that without giving him his.
But yeah, like in terms of life expectancy, healthcare, access to information, we're sat in a car. Like 100 years ago, you couldn't do this.
No.
Like, yeah, way better than it's ever been before. In terms of, you can see everything all the time and it never switches off. The people that don't like you can be very clear and vocal and very accessible.
And they can get you when you're in your bedroom.
Yeah, like there's a lot of stuff like the whole like government control thing that we're now somehow in the George Orwell book about. It's just getting worse seemingly at the minute. Like
Day by day.
Even though we're, as you've said, objectively in a better place, just living in it feels hard work all the time.
Oh, gotcha.
Because it's all about perspective, isn't it? The people living 150 years ago have no idea that this would ever be a thing.
Yeah.
So to them, they were living through, this is the best time ever to live.
Yeah.
But we've got no medicine, so if you get a really bad infection, that's it, you're done.
You've got a 50% chance of being born with polio.
Yeah, and that was like, oh, well, we're lucky that we haven't got polio. Whereas we're like, we don't have to think about polio.
Yeah.
And because we've never had to think about it, we don't realise just how far ahead we are.
Yeah.
We have to worry about TikTok.
Oh, God, yeah, exactly. We've got to worry about saying something slightly obscene.
Yeah.
On social media, and now we're facing a 2-year jail sentence.
Yeah.
Like it is always bizarre, and you know, obviously everybody is entitled to say this is the best or the worst time to be alive, but I think if you genuinely believe that objectively this is one of the worst times to be alive, you need to get your head checked.
Yeah.
Because 80 years ago, you were having to volunteer to go and fight in France.
Yeah.
100 years ago, you were volunteering to go and fight in a ditch.
In France?
Yeah, in France. It's funny, the French, they are not very good at the whole war game thing. That being said, they have won more battles than any other nation in the world. By one. So France as a nation have won more battles than anybody else.
Is that because they fight themselves so many times?
Yeah, probably.
That one extra is just a civil war.
Exactly.
Like, we get 2 for this because it's both sides.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, I think it goes all the way back to the Holy Roman Empire, which everybody seems to forget that the Holy Roman Empire was neither holy nor was it Roman, because it was actually French. And it was incredibly barbaric.
Yeah.
And it was under Charlemagne, who was basically the emperor, the greatest emperor of France ever. And that's what Napoleon tried to bring about again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they've won one more battle than England/Britain. Because obviously Britain wasn't a thing for a very long time.
No.
Then it goes France, then Britain, then I think it's America, just because they've gone, right, we'll just fight everyone.
Yeah, they've really come in at it hard.
Yeah, exactly.
A bit like you with your following. You come in hard and fast.
Yeah, exactly.
From nothing to everything.
It's massively unsustainable in both setups,
right? 300 years in and they're like, we're really racking up the points, boys.
Yeah, exactly. They're just like, God, look at that streak.
Yeah.
And then it's, kind of everybody else falls in behind it. But, it's, no matter which decade you go back to in history, men were unfortunately having to sign up to go and fight something.
Yeah.
And it's the classic line of, I'll fight so my kid doesn't have to.
Yeah.
They did that for 30, 40, 50 generations, but the sons always continued going to war.
Ironically, we're now at the point where the people who were the kids that didn't have to go to war are now going, we should bring back national service. It's like, you've never even had to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the last national service was my grandpa, who sadly passed away 20 years ago.
Right.
That he did national service following World War II.
Yeah.
So he...
In the 50s.
Yeah, because you had national service for, I think, it was 18 months to a year.
It was kind of like, just in case it all kicks off again, boys. Yeah. We'll get everyone ready.
Exactly. And he did bomb disposal. It's just an absolute nutcase. And then he actually ended up continue working in the army for, I think, another 3 years, my dad was telling me.
Right.
Because he enjoyed
it so much.
Enjoyed messing around with diffusing bombs in Portsmouth Harbour.
It's like that guy who went over, took a broadsword with him and a longbow, lost an eye and a leg or something, came back and went, I had a lovely time.
Yeah, so that's...
nutter.
So it's 2 slightly different people. So you've got Mad Jack Churchill, who's the guy with the long sword and the bow and arrow.
Yeah.
The guy who got shot in the ear, the head, the groin, the leg, the hip, the stomach, tore off his own fingers because the doctor refused to amputate them, and lost an eye. That was Adrian Ghislaine de Wyatt, who fought in the First and Second World War, the First World War, the Second World War, survived 2 plane crashes as well. Yeah, just complete nutter. And he was the guy that came back and said, what did you think of the war? Frankly, I rather enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Just complete nutcase.
This is some really impressive levels of knowledge. Because we're not only getting the automotive knowledge that you have, and before we started recording, we've been talking about BMW engine models.
Yeah.
There's also this history level to the names of the people. So I find in my travels, there's a spectrum of how people understand things and how they kind of... You either have a lot of applicable skill knowledge or you have a lot of really specific knowledge. So like my other half who's a doctor, she's really good at really specific... Oh, this study done by these people had this outcome. Really specific. And then I sit somewhere in the middle where I know quite a lot about cars, which is my special interest.
Yep.
And I pick up bits of history and culture and this, that and the other. And I'm probably at about a central point, maybe a little bit more on the specific side, especially when it comes to cars. To be able to have quite a broad amount of quite specific knowledge is really impressive.
Oh, thank you.
Because you've got this is the G84, whatever engine we're talking about.
Yep.
And Sir What's-His-Face, whose name I've already forgotten, was the guy that got shot in these different bodies. I'm like, I can't do any of that. I can do that's an Austin Allegro or that's a Porsche and it's a 987, not a 90. I could do that bit, But outside of that, it all really starts to fall apart.
Mm.
But at the other side of it, I'm quite good at picking up skills.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of fit in the middle of it all. Of
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
can pick up a camera and do a good photo, or I can design something.
You'll
or I
see
can
the
build
multiplier
something.
just behind. It's going. Look, there you
Going.
go. Oh, it's
That is
majestic.
magnificent. It says mind your head on the side as well.
Yeah, so good.
I wonder if my camera can get him before he
Go-
goes.
Go on.
Beautiful.
Oh, who's that on the back?
It's an LKQ and some flames on the back.
I'm trying to see. He's got a picture
It's
of
got a
somebody in the
picture in
back.
it as well.
It's brilliant. Sorry, distracted by the multiplier once again. But I mean, it is very kind of you to say. I mean, you know, it's. I've never been tested for ADHD.
Yeah.
Never tested for it. By somebody like your other half.
She literally was a tester at one point.
Fair.
That was her job. Yeah.
But I have sat a test that psychologists use
Yeah.
when examining patients, and I did it with Annex 4 or 5 years ago, and it was a test out of 32. And if you scored anything above 17, you were on the spectrum.
Yeah.
I scored 29.
Quite on the spectrum.
Quite on the spectrum, it turns out,
yeah.
right? As that also, the multiplier driving away, and we're talking about something, and I immediately get
Ooh,
distracted.
shiny thing.
Right, yeah. And,
So I'm on the waiting list.
okay.
So following, obviously, my other half doing it as a job.
Mm.
I was like, a lot of the stuff you talk about feels really familiar. She was like, maybe, because her sister presents quite stereotypically ADHD. She's not been tested, but it's
Yeah.
quite loud, quite distractible, all
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. Whereas I'm not in that way,
No.
but there's a lot of stuff where it is like, you tick a lot of the boxes,
Yeah.
just not as obviously.
Mm.
And obviously it's a spectrum, there's quite a lot of variance between people.
Yeah.
And having gone through it, she went, oh, maybe you should just get the test done just in case.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
to find out. And then she went, don't be surprised if they suggest you have an autism test as well.
So,
I was like,
yeah.
oh, cheers, mate.
Yeah, that's the because that's the thing. That was the point that I was getting to. Is
I haven't
that
had any Italian on. I don't know what the problem is.
because that's the thing. Is it? Yeah, if you score quite sort of somewhere on the spectrum of ADHD, you're more than likely to have autism.
Yeah.
And you know, people would state that having autism is a disadvantage. Not
It's just
necessarily.
a difference, isn't
Is
it?
it just a different way that your brain processes information, right? And there are debilitating versions of autism, and there are empowering versions of autism,
Yeah.
right? I personally believe that if I am in fact autistic, my sort of autistic superpower, clearly not speaking, is the fact that I can read something, speak it, and then understand it, absorb it, and then it just goes into a filing system somewhere.
Oh, okay. So you've got really good information recall.
Really good.
I have really terrible information recall, but a really good ability to extrapolate from concepts. So I did really well at school, not because I could remember everything, but I could understand the base principle and apply it.
Yeah.
Which is how I learned skills quickly. Like
Mhm.
all the stuff that I do and have done is often the back of me being able to do that.
Mhm.
So even when it came to like sales, I could understand the basic principle of how what would make someone buy something.
Yeah.
And you go, right, if I apply that principle to what I'm trying to do, I can figure out a path between A and B.
Yes.
And I did fine at sales because I could figure it out. But once you've cracked the code, I'm like, oh, it's boring now. I've figured out the code. I'm not interested. That ADHD part went, oh, it's not novel anymore because you've finished it.
Yeah.
Done. On to the next thing. It's like,
Exactly.
great. I've managed to find a thing that I could do really well at. And it's
now-
now boring.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's kind of how pretty much every single one of my teachers would have described me was. So background: I would never, ever describe myself as being an intelligent human being.
Right.
Ever. Right. I would just describe myself as not being dumb.
Yeah.
And-
That's part of the intelligence scale, isn't it?
Mm.
There's that self-awareness. There's quite a high proportion of really intelligent people
Yep.
that are always like, oh, I'm not that smart.
Yeah.
And there's quite a high proportion of really stupid people that think they're geniuses.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
this brings us back to those books that people say.
Yeah, exactly that. And you know, my teachers would always say he is.
He's always, if he applied himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even if he applied himself. It's he is incredibly intelligent. He really just could not care less about
Yeah.
school. And my dad's response was always, well, you're a teacher.
That's your job.
That's your job.
Yeah.
Like, you're clearly not doing very good at your job. I will also caveat this by saying, the teachers that I had were very good teachers. My dad is just very much one of those people of, you've got a job, you signed up to it, do it.
Yeah.
And, typical straight cut businessman for like the last 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
He didn't, take no for an answer. And I guess, growing up with somebody like that, trying to sort of get his approval and work, and sort of, also very, very lucky having his genetics, it's kind of just built my brain in a certain way where it's just like, okay, we'll get this done, get that done.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of put me in good stead with, with content creation, especially given the way that I want to go as being a presenter. All of my videos are shot in one take.
In the car.
In the car.
This phone.
That mount.
Front camera.
Yeah, front camera as well. And the whole point was just to prove that I can present. And the longest story that I think I did was 9 minutes and 58 seconds.
Because TikTok's upper limit is 10 minutes.
Yes. Because also I believe that
Instagram for a bit would let you do long stuff as well.
Yeah. Well, actually, you can post up to an hour-long clip on.
Can you?
On Instagram.
Does it have to have been recorded as a live?
No.
Ah.
No. You can just upload it these days. Sometimes it gets a bit funny because for a while it was
a large file.
It wasn't letting me upload videos that were like 3 minutes long. It's like, just get in the bin. I know you will. Just shut up. But it was mainly because I always believed that to get the best out of the TikTok algorithm, you had to record an app. So I would always go onto TikTok, record in TikTok, do my story in one take, and obviously I could, if I was recording at TikTok, no teleprompter.
Yeah.
So it really taught me to get it done, and that was difficult. I spent 3 hours in the car to get that right. And it took me 2 hours to write the script for it and learn it. Yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. And I'd always get like 3 or 4 minutes through, and then I'd be like, crap, damn it. And I would literally, I'd cough, or like if I stumble on one word, and it's one thing I'm really terrible for, is I get tongue-tied quite a bit. Yeah. And the reason being is because my brain is moving. It's on the next word, and then I've gone, but actually I don't like that word, I'm going to swap that word out halfway through saying the word. I have this. So I'll say like de-lovely instead of delightful or lovely. Yeah. I'll just like mix the two together, and it's like, that's not actually a word, Thomas. That was stupid. Right, redo the whole thing. I'm being a perfectionist.
But here's the fun thing about making content, and this came off the back of Mr. JWW said this, because he used to have a really bad stutter, and what he found was being able to be in control of what went out meant that he could just try. Yeah. And it gave him so much more empowerment that it helped him to kind of combat what he was struggling with. Right. Okay. Because he's like, oh, I tripped myself up, I start again. Trip myself up, I start again. And it was actually quite empowering because he's like, well, it's in my control. Yeah. I can go, oh, it's frustrating. I wanted to get it right, but I'm not in front of people. No one's watching this. No. It's just me and the camera, or me and the phone, or I can go over and over and over until I get it right. And I think a lot of people don't realise that there's that aspect to it, because you go, oh, you did that in one go. Oh my God, I could never. You go, yeah, you did it in one go after an hour and a half of trying. Yes, exactly. For 3 minutes. Yeah. And like people have like started calling me like the one take wonder, and I absolutely love it. But I'm like, the video's shot in one take. It took me 7 to get there. Yeah. Like So where did the spark for that come from? So the way that I found out about you, and funny enough, it's connected to this podcast. Oh, hey. So I went to London to go and record with Neil Clifford, who is the CEO of Kurt Geiger. Yes. At Kurt Geiger HQ. Is that Chasseur Cowboy? It is. It is, yeah. Very cool individual. He's very, very cool, and he's very lovely. And I bumped into him at the Scramble, and he was like, yeah, just drop us an email, we'll come down to the office. Boy. Absolute boy. Very cool. So I think the camera has just run out of, it's overheated. Should we pause and open the doors? Pause for a door open. Yeah. We are back. Yes, baby. To be fair, your door shut. Right one. Nice. Right, after our little breather to cool down. Yes. Because both us and the camera were overheating. Yes. You were telling me about Mr. Kurt Geiger, my Chasseur Cowboy. I was. So, this is how I found out about you. Right. Was thanks to going to London to go and record with Neil. Yeah. I just picked a car park in London that was somewhere near where I needed to be. Right. And it happened to be that I parked on the same level as all the minis. Ah, right, very good. And I had no idea what it was. I had no idea who you were, what the little car, big city.
So close, small car,
big city was.
Yeah.
I just saw 4 minis with oil trays underneath.
Yeah, standard.
And it had the little plaque that said what it was. So I just, on my phone, said, oh, look, I've just popped up in London. I've just spotted this. How cool. You can go and do tours in London in these minis. And every comment was just tagging you. Which is weird, because I was like, surely after the first person's done it, you go, oh, someone's beat me to it. And you just, no, everybody needs to feel like they've done it.
Yeah, exactly.
So then obviously that's how I found out about who you are and what you do. And just literally I was like, that guy great, that guy great. I was like, who's this guy? Obviously he's well known and popular. And it was, yeah, as I say, you were on, I don't know, 20,000 Instagram followers at the time.
Yeah,
and obviously you've exploded from there. But it was all thanks to going to London to do the podcast with Neil that I ended up.
Right.
And that was fun because, as I say, I'm just some guy that figures out what he's doing as he does it.
Yeah.
So I turned up at Kurt Geiger HQ with my backpack on, dressed like I am today probably.
El Shaggy.
Yeah, I'm in orange trousers, green t-shirt, proper Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. I'm not saying he looks shaggy, but that would be awful.
And I turn up at Kurt Geiger HQ, having never been there before and having no real concept as to what a fashion house looks like. And it's a big place.
Yes.
And everybody's cool. Everybody's trendy, there's photographers milling around, and I was like, oh, this is real fashion.
Yeah.
I just print stuff on t-shirts. The fun part was the girl on reception, she was like, who are you here to see? I was like, Neil. She's like, which Neil? I was like, Neil Clifford. She's like, oh. I was like, I hope I'm in the diary. She's like, what's your name? Told her, and she's like, yeah, you're in the diary. I was like, good, because I've travelled all the way here for this.
Yes.
And then she had a Casio watch on, and I complimented her because I was wearing a Casio watch. And she went, oh, I can't figure out how to set the time because I'm an hour ahead because of daylight savings.
Oh, right, yeah.
I was like, it's a Casio. There's 3 buttons.
Yeah.
You keep pressing them until something happens.
Yeah, exactly.
So I sorted that for her while I waited. But that was great. And we just we did the podcast, and it was the same week that the Savile Row concourse was on.
Oh, right.
And Neil went, oh, you're going to the concourse? I went, oh, yeah, I'm going to have a mooch over. And he went, I'll see you down there. Now, he had no reason to suggest that, because obviously, podcast done, he's fulfilled his obligation to me for the day.
Exactly.
But because we got onto it, I was like, yeah, I'll just see you down there. And then I stood and hung around with him and his pals, just chatting about cars. And this is like the crux of why I enjoy the car world so much, is that it doesn't matter who you are, what background you're from, how much money you've got. If you're a car person, you're passionate about cars.
Yeah.
So we were on the concourse row. There was a Koenigsegg parked next to a 90s Rolls Royce. Okay. And the Rolls Royce worth, I don't know, 50 grand.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of money, but it's not Koenigsegg.
No.
And I'm stood with Neil and 2 of his friends, and one of his mates goes, oh, I've got one of these Koenigseggs. This is the Agera, and I've got the Regera. I was like, that's a £2.5 million car.
That's money.
And he was like, yeah, I flew over in my plane and spec'd it with Christian over lunch. And I was like, wow, that's a cool story.
That's, big boy stuff.
Koenigsegg HQ's on a runway.
Yeah.
So he landed his own, he flew his plane and landed at Koenigsegg.
That's amazing.
That's cool, right?
Yeah.
The more fun thing was we'd looked at the Koenigsegg, and then everybody spotted the old Rolls Royce and was immediately 4 years old.
Yes.
Oh, wow, look at it. And all of us were like, this is cool. And in that moment, I was like, yes, it's all impressive. You've got a Koenigsegg, blah, blah, blah. We're all very impressed.
Yeah.
No one actually cared. Like, he was just like going, oh, I've got one of these.
It's a cool story.
It's like, it's cool. But everyone was way more excited to see this quite generic old Rolls Royce.
Yeah, 100%.
I was like, oh, this is car people. Because that guy can afford a Koenigsegg, but he's excited by this.
Yeah.
And then we're all chatting away and we're sharing stories. And we had some really just odd, not odd, but it's like, what do you think is the best time period to live at what age? Was the question.
Oh, good question.
So I was like, I feel like I was around 30. In the early noughties was probably a good crossover of there's enough technology, but we're not all on Instagram.
Yes.
I feel like that was a good period to be 30.
Yeah.
You could afford a house.
Yep.
On your own, on a single income. And you didn't have to check your notifications on your phone every day.
Yes.
You couldn't check notifications unless you were in the office.
Yes.
It felt like that would be and then you have peak supercar, sports car, all of that.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of, that's a very good answer. I was like, I'm very smart. Thank you.
Yes, no, thank you.
So we were chatting about all this sort of stuff. And then afterwards, the guy with the Koenigsegg had to go to a dinner that he'd been invited to, because obviously.
Naturally.
Neil was going home, I was going home, and Neil's other friend was like, oh, I've got to go to America for work tomorrow, I need to go over to the airport. So as we were all walking away, Neil goes, oh, do you know who that guy was? I was like, no, he's like, he owns Selfridges. I was like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah, he's a legitimate billionaire. I was like, right. And we're just chatting about cars. He's like, yeah. And he said one of the reasons Kurt Geiger has such a good relationship with Selfridges is because that guy's a car guy. So him and Neil meet up and talk about Porsches all the time. And they go, yeah, we'll sort handbags out later. Which is exactly where this started for me was, we'll sort logistics out later, let's talk cars.
That's superb.
And it goes up every level.
Yeah.
Every level of business or culture or whatever. If you are interested in cars and the other person is interested in cars, you will sort the other stuff out because it becomes trivial.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we'll find the right deal, we'll figure it out. We can talk quite openly and frankly because we're mates now, because we talk cars. And that, for me, has been like a huge part of why this is so much fun.
Yeah, and I think the sort of the point on that is that people don't buy products. Obviously, they do buy products, but they buy people.
Yeah,
right? They buy the people that sell those products. So, if you can have some sort of middle ground, be that cars, be that golf, be that politics, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
You've got that sort of mutual respect of, okay, well, yeah, we can chat about this, and it's really, really easy for us. Yeah. And cars is the perfect way to do it.
Yeah, and you start to trust that person's telling you should do something because you trust their opinion, rather than going, oh, what's his angle here?
Yes.
Like if I'm trying to buy something and someone's going, yeah, you should do this, I go, well, are you saying that because you'll get more money if I do, or are you saying that because you think it's the right choice?
Exactly.
And that was a huge part of when I was in sales, was it's actually more about convincing people that you're trustworthy than it is about having the right product.
Oh, 100%.
And going like, I think you should do this. It might be either a bit more expensive or it might be a bit different, but because you believe what I am saying you'll understand that I think this is the right answer for you.
Quite right. And it's, the thing that I also really took out of that story was the fact that obviously, a chap had a really cool story about Koenigsegg. But then you all start piling over the 50 grand roller.
Yeah.
Right? It's a joke that I've said for a while, is that, boys are fascinated by Ferraris and Lamborghinis. Men like Volvos.
Yeah.
Right?
I've got a Saab 9.3.
Oh.
And I get so many more people go, that's cool.
Yes.
Before it had any livery or stickers, I've got emotional support vehicle written down the side. I had a light box on the roof because we went to the Mont Classic. I was like, it needs to be, and it got more attention than my mate and his 599 Ferrari behind me. People find that way more interesting.
Yes.
Than almost anything I've ever driven.
100%. And my mate had a Saab 9.3 Aero twin turbo diesel.
Oh, okay.
And he'd remapped it and put a straight through pipe on it, and that thing had like 380 brake, and it could still average 65 to the gallon.
The dream.
And it was the coolest, most comfortable car I'd ever been in.
Yeah.
Like there's something amazing about Swedish engineering that just makes Saabs and Volvos cool.
Yeah.
And you don't really appreciate it until you become older, because when we're younger, obviously everybody aspires for Ferraris and Lambos. Then when you get to the age of actually being able to afford cars, well, not afford cars, but be able to drive cars, you immediately want something German.
Yeah.
Or you want something like a Pacific muscle car. Like you've got a baby Pacific muscle car, right? If you put a massive turbo onto it.
Mate, mine's V8'd one of those.
Yeah, that is then a Pacific muscle car, right? So you kind of fall into those two traps. And then when you get a little bit older, you then start looking at wagons.
Have you seen the Skoda Superb Skunk Works car?
Yes.
That is the peak man car.
Yes,
because
100%.
It looks like a Skoda Superb, but it's a bit more.
Oh, yeah.
But they've specifically gone, we're not going to make it flamboyant. We're going to have big brakes on it that you have to know to know.
Yeah.
We're going to play with the turbo, but you won't know that unless you are in it or it comes past you. And we'll sort the suspension. So it sits right, but it's not on the floor.
Exactly.
And everybody, car journalists, supercar owner, nerds, everyone, go, mint. That is the pinnacle of sleeper.
Exactly, right? And I absolutely love it. My dad had something kind of similar. He had for 2 or 3 years, he had a slate grey BMW 340i Estate.
Nice, good choice.
Completely debadged, but it had ivory interior in it. You had no clue that it was a fast lunacy machine.
Yeah.
Unless you knew what you were looking at, which was the different coloured calipers, the split exhaust at the back.
Yeah.
And the fact that when you turned it on, it sounded like a baby M3.
Yeah.
Right? And I pined over that car. It was really annoying because my stepbrother bought it off of my dad, and I was toying with buying it, and I was just like, it's just a little bit too expensive to run.
Yeah.
He says, as a man that ended up buying an L322 instead of the 340, right? But there's something about when you become a man, and I think you can only really become a man once you're past 25.
Yeah, it's once your frontal lobe has kind of settled down.
Fully settled down, right? Estates immediately become God tier.
Yeah.
Like my brother's now driving around in a 2016 plate. I don't know the chassis code because when they got off of it all got very confusing for Beamers. But he's driving around in a 530D Tourer.
Nice.
And it is just the coolest thing in the world. And I absolutely hate him that he got it before I did.
So I have a car that pops up quite frequently in this conversation with racing drivers.
Right.
So there's a guy that races a D-type and he's worth a substantial amount of money.
You have to be to own one of those.
Yeah, and to race one.
Yeah, because if it goes wrong, that's several zeros.
He also has a single-seat Bentley race car that they only ever made one of.
Wow.
I'll show you a photo. It's very cool.
Okay.
His daily is a B3 Alpina Touring in like woodland green with gold wheels.
Yes.
Debadged, like no Alpina stickers. Obviously it's got the lip on the front.
Yeah.
But that's how you know it's an Alpina.
Yeah.
It's got the Alpina wheels.
Yeah.
But it's not. Look at me, I'm an Alpina.
Yeah, it's not pinstripe down the side and B3 turbo.
And every time I see him, I'm like, that is the best. He's like, it's a perfect car.
Yeah.
While I was in Spa, there was another one, almost the exact same spec, outside the garage next to us with German plates on. I was like, this is the choice of car for classic racing drivers.
Yes.
And one of the guys racing the Jag went, oh, I don't like that. I went, why? He went, I've got a GL63 AMG. I much prefer it. I went, that's an SUV. It's not as cool.
No.
And it's not a Range Rover.
Yeah, also, and to add to your point, one of the best cars ever made, in the opinion of arguably the greatest car journalist in the world, in my mind, Chris Harris has got.
He's got an E60 Touring?
I think so.
M5?
Well, so he's got the M5, but he's also got a B3 Alpina.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's either a B3 or, no, it's a D3.
D3, yeah.
D3, and he put up a post a while ago, it might have been sort of 4 or 5 months ago, and he said that he never really does any miles in it. He was thinking he was going to go sell it.
Right.
Get in the car, go for a last drive. Got in it and immediately went, I can't sell this.
Yeah,
it's too good.
Yeah.
It's just all the car you ever need.
Yeah.
Because it's the performance of basically an M3, but it's a diesel.
So you get motorway miles.
Yeah, and you can't hear it because it's an Alpina.
Yeah.
So you just waft. And there's something about wafting. Like, I love this thing. This car is my best friend.
Yeah.
Right, and it sounds sad, but I think most car guys can relate. When you've got a car, you anthropomorphise it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a person. This car has carried me 65,000 miles in the last 3 years, and it's my studio. It's the first rear-wheel drive car that I've ever owned, and I absolutely love this. I could never part with this.
Someone asked me if I'm going to get rid of the 86. I was like, no, I'll just find somewhere to store it.
Yeah, exactly.
And tinker on it until it works as good as it should again.
100%. And don't get me wrong, there's little bits and bobs that I want to do to the car, like do the suspension, the brakes, maybe put some ITBs on it. And, that will change the personality of the car.
Yeah.
I have no doubt of that.
It's like if you started going to the gym more.
Yeah.
It's not that you're a different person.
Exactly. I
started rock climbing again last year. And I've lost weight. I can see abs again sometimes.
Oh,
in the right light, and after
absolute show off. Look at you. With
and
your
it's
abs.
My shoulders are getting bigger, and my arms are getting bigger, and I feel great. I feel like when I look in the mirror, I'm like, I've made some progress.
Yeah.
But I'm still the idiot that draws cars and puts them on t-shirts, and I'm still really bad at not getting sidetracked and going off down tangents. Fundamentally, I'm still the same person, but I'm just in slightly better shape.
Yeah.
And I feel a bit better about myself, and that kind of just means that I'm a bit happier more of the time.
Quite right.
And that's the same with tinkering with cars. Is maybe it handles a bit nicer and it's a little bit tighter and maybe it sounds a bit better.
Or it looks a little bit more the way you want it to look.
a bit more aggressive or something like that. But underneath, this seat will still be this seat. And all the memories and the stories and the things that have happened will still have happened here.
Yeah.
And you can't change that fundamental part of a car.
Hell no. It's weirdly for me, one of the most important styling aspects of a car.
Yeah.
Is the steering wheel.
Oh, interesting.
right? So the way the steering wheel looks, the way that it feels, and the dial sat behind it. I'm not a fan of screens.
Yeah.
And my Range Rover does have a screen, and I don't like it. But it was too cheap to say no to. But the thing that you are most in contact with when driving is the steering wheel, the position of the gear stick, right? The feel of the gear stick, the feel of the steering wheel. But you look at the steering wheel probably more than anything else in the car.
Yeah.
And I think that a 3-prong steering wheel is the most beautiful. You will not change my mind on that.
No, that's fair.
And this, to me, with that binnacle as well, and the binnacle with the Z4 and the dials actually in the Z4 back in the old Bangle days.
Yeah.
Every single set of dials was different per car.
Oh, okay.
They're slightly different.
Yeah, yeah.
This, to me, is peak BMW.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. It all went a bit downhill after this. Don't get me wrong, it's not the prettiest light cluster, but the steering wheel is heavy. It just feels great, and I could not be without this car.
Yeah.
Like it is just.
It's a part of you.
100%. 100%. And if anybody said, "Oh well, you could have got the Z4M," it's like, yeah, but I couldn't afford it at the time.
Yeah.
And
it would
also
be in a different story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also the gauge cluster is different, and I don't like it as much. Like it's just
all the things that you used to justify.
Yeah, but like this is like proper nerdy car stuff, like car guy stuff, right?
Yeah, because you've already talked about the front bumper being a bit more aggressive on the Z4M versus this one, and if you do all the other things you got, maybe I'll treat it to a front bumper.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the other things I want to do: carbon roof, carbon boot, because the boot weighs a ton, because it's
That's
a
a
whole
big
climb.
bit of work, though, isn't it? Carbon roof.
Yeah, well, the carbon roof's not too bad because it's literally just a
Is it
square
a bolting thing.
I think so.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
The bonnet I want to do carbon as well because that is the size of Belgium, so that would take a lot of weight out.
The Germans have annexed a small country to make that.
Okay, it's Austria then.
Yeah.
Did we mention the war? I don't think we did.
Someone had a lovely time. We mentioned that.
Yeah, exactly. But like this will be a project, and the reason that I will never sell this is not only is it my best friend, but I actually feel I owe quite a lot of my career as a content creator to this car, because from that angle, you've got this seat, a thick steering wheel, a little bit of that seat in the centre console. The amount of people that say, "Are you driving a Porsche? Are you driving a Jag?"
Trying to guess what it is.
Yeah, the other one, the main one, is a V8 Vantage Aston.
Ooh, that gives you a nice little tickle, doesn't it?
And the reason that I think I owe my career to that is people tend to listen to voices of other people that they believe are more successful than them.
Yeah.
Right? Only take advice from people who are in a place in their life where...
If you're the biggest fish, you're in the wrong pond.
Yeah, right? And if people are tuning into my content, they're seeing a guy in a 3-piece suit, usually, in a car they think is an Aston Martin.
Yeah.
So they're like, this guy knows his onions. It's like, well, actually, the suit's from Primark, and this is a 10 grand Beamer.
I spotted the suit. Not because I'm snobby or know anything about suits. I saw something somewhere and I went, that's from Primark.
Yep.
I can respect someone that goes to the effort to look the way that they look, but doesn't go, I've got a £400 suit on.
Yeah.
And I like it. Like, I spotted that the corners of your shoes are worn, where you've worn them so much.
Yep.
I'm like, it's not pretentious, because you could arguably go out and buy a pair of 150 quid shoes.
Yeah.
And they'd look the part and blah, blah, blah. But there's no, I must do that for my image. There is this constant, like, I want to look smart, but I don't need to spend all of my money on that.
Exactly.
Because how else am I going to afford a Range Rover?
Because also, I'm poor. Like, that's the other thing. Like, people see the following and they immediately go, oh, you're getting 1,000,001 brand deals, you're doing this, you're doing that.
Yeah.
No, like, I'm not. Unfortunately, I work in a very male-dominated industry. I'm not the prettiest guy going. I'm not the most intelligent. I'm not the biggest car nerd. So, for brands to work with me, I guess, I'm just not as exciting as other people. I think 2 people that are very exciting to work with for brands at the moment are Michael Fedowitz from Candy Showroom, because he is the ultimate car nerd and I think a brilliant bloody presenter.
He's
like, what he does, he's very fabulous at. And Mint likes cars.
Yes.
Because she is very beautiful, very well spoken, doesn't know as much as a lot of people, but she knows a lot compared to a lot of other women, shall we say. And that's not supposed to sound sexist, but...
No, but it is a very male-dominated environment.
Exactly. So, if I'm going up against those 2, I don't know as much as Mike, and I'm not a girl like Mint. So it's just like, it makes my life a little bit more difficult, and I don't bemoan that in the slightest. The other thing that I have always believed, again, going back to the thing of I'm not the coolest kid in the playground, I've always believed that with my content, it's going to be an absolute grind and a slogfest before I actually get anywhere. So
Right, yeah.
I might have a larger following, but that doesn't mean anything. I've got to get even more so still before I'm, respected or whatever else. And I don't have an issue with that.
Yeah.
And I think that, everybody is in a certain place in their life for a reason. Right? I am sat in this incredibly warm car chatting to you right now for a reason.
Sweating.
Yeah, we are both struggling. But it's one of those things that I think when everybody understands their place, as in where they are right now, and they understand where they want to go, that makes life easy. But when they figure out then how they're going to get there, that makes it even easier still. And everybody gets to their point B at a certain time.
Yeah, there's a real difficulty with perspective that people struggle with. And I'm not saying that as someone that doesn't struggle with it, but life is all about perspective. Where you are now versus where you are 10 years ago. I have this moment quite regularly where I go, bloody hell, if I could go back and say, you're going to be sat in the RV with Grant Williams at Spa watching racing, and he's going to be sat in his pants telling you to put the kettle on. 10 years ago, I'd be like, what? I'm going to go to Spa with one of the drivers and spend the whole weekend just running around doing stupid stuff. He's got this little Land Rover that he uses as a pit car. Me and his son were just bombing around Spa in it and just mucking about. And it's like, 10 years ago, I wasn't in the car world in any way. I had no involvement in cars at all. I was just a guy who liked cars. And I think I just got the 86 9 years ago. So 10 years ago, I had a beat up old Audi that my dad had given me, and it was worth about 400 quid.
Superb.
And I was working in hospitals, or I was just existing. If I could go back then and go, don't worry, mate, you'll end up in something that you love.
Yeah.
You get to go and talk to people and go to Kurt Geiger head office and sit and chat with the CEO. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's wicked. And then 10 years before that, I'd have been like, you mean I get to drive? Oh my God, I've got an Audi estate. Like, it's all about perspective, and we're all on the different journeys, and they go at different paces, and we're different highs and different lows. And it's a really difficult thing to get your head around, is that it's all about perspective and about trying to ground yourself wherever you are.
Quite right.
And it's just the journey that we're all on. Unfortunately, my parking is going to run out in 2.5 minutes. Right,
okay. Well, I guess all that we can say is any final question, darling, before we have to quickly move out of the way?
What is next for you? You're currently doing, obviously, your regular videos.
Yep.
And there's an element of, are you a bit on the hamster wheel with that? How do you move forward from that position before you start to kind of go, right, I'm running out of momentum and energy to keep this going?
Yep.
Obviously, you're stepping into presenting, you're doing quick fit stuff.
Yep.
Is that the goal, is to do more presenting work?
Yeah, so the goal has always been to do more presenting work. Historically, the goal was always to get onto TV.
Right.
Now, sort of chatting to execs and things like that, TV is a bit dead.
Yeah.
So the plan is, very, very exciting news. In the next 2-3 months, we'll be launching my YouTube channel,
Nice.
Good and Proper. I've already got 2 features already sorted, and we'll be filming those in the next couple of weeks. And that's going to be a plethora of long-form content. So long-form golfing content, focusing on going out with cool people, chatting about mental health, using it as a way, like you do with cars, to prove this is a connector.
Yeah.
Automotive content, car reviews, doing fun stuff. And I've got a show that hopefully will be coming out very, very soon. Basically a podcast mini-series type thing as well. And then another sort of podcast YouTube mini-series.
Right.
So it's more sort of just getting the last couple of little sort of T's crossed and I's dotted.
Yeah.
And then we'll be all the way, because doing the short form content, it has started to feel a little bit hamster on a wheel. And I don't feel like I'm getting as far as I could possibly be. So
it's understandable. Stay
Stay tuned. There should be some interesting things coming soon. I'm very, very excited. And you never know, I might have to get you on my YouTube channel and future podcast.
More than happy to come along.
Absolute pleasure.
The Forest football team,
Yes, sir.
used to take my dad to play golf because he was so bad, it was more entertaining than the golf itself. So we could just do that.
Yeah, well,
That'd be
that's
terrible.
That's how terrible I am at golf as well, darling.
It'll be a laugh either way.
Perfect. Well, sir, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
If I could offer you one piece of feedback,
Yes, sir.
please add captions to your videos.
I did for a long time, and then I took them down because they were irritating me. But I shall, from today's video, put captions back on. Just
Amazing. I appreciate it.
more than welcome.
Cheers, dude.